Hello. I'm just doing this quick video to talk about a couple things that I meant to a few days ago. My main camera broke, so I'm using this backup camera. So I'll try not to be too long about it, since recording videos uses the battery up faster a little. So I'll just get right into it. I'm not sure what this Ava Green nonsense is about. I really had nothing to do with it. They're forcing me to follow her online, and they're forcing me to write good stuff about her. It's not anything I was really doing. It's something that they're forcing me into doing without really promising much. They're like saying, oh, you'll end up romantically involved with her, or be in a relationship with her, have sex with her, like fuck her. But I don't see that as being too likely, so I really want no part of it. I would rather not risk it that way. And so, knowing the low chance of it actually happening, I would just rather not really risk it like that. It's morally degrading, and I really have better things I could be doing right now, instead of trying to force someone into keeping their promises. All I really did is say online that I was reading Gawain and the Green Knight, and then next thing I know, they're trying to shove Ava Green in my face as if I said anything about that or anything. So it could have just been confusion over that, like through the names, or they thought it was a coincidence or something. I saw Casino Royale in theaters. I've seen it a few times, but I really wasn't thinking about her too much. She just seems like one of those stuck-up broads that are just impossible to woo, because once you try to appraise their value, they just end up overvaluing themselves and just placing like a really high market price on their self, so that they don't really only go for bachelors, like rich bachelors or people who are millionaires already. So I'm not too sure what that's supposed to be about. There are a lot of easier to obtain normal, regular girls out there, who aren't famous or who aren't stars. So that level of notoriety just makes it impossible to even have fun like that. Sorry. So, all that happened and it seemed like BS. There was some other stuff too. On a Joe Rogan podcast, he was trying to say that the THC in the cannabis plant are alkaloids, but they're really not. Alkaloids are one type of chemical that are found in plants. I want to study botany for a long time, so I read a lot about different kinds of plants. I wanted to specialize in a main area. Usually alkaloids get someone high. In order for a chemical to be an alkaloid, it usually, in the scientific community, it's usually said that they have to have a nitrogen atom. Like THC doesn't have any nitrogen atoms. It's not really a crystalline substance or an alkaline substance. It's more oily, like a resin. The terpenes are just, what's responsible for the smell, different flavor of the weed. But the THC in itself is not a terpene. It's just a resin-like substance. That's what I was getting at when I was talking about that earlier, like a year ago. I just wanted to compare that oily feel of the THC to actual crystalline substances. That's mainly what I was getting at. So alkaloids can be found in plants, but they're usually not the only thing in plants. There are other chemicals that could be found in plants that don't get you high when consumed. Normal types of chemicals for defense and others that serve various purposes. They're not going to be called alkaloids. Again, those are reserved for the alkaloids, usually nitrogen containing substances. Other chemicals might be known as phytochemicals. In general, it'll encompass the whole thing. Then flavonoids is a term that's going to be reserved for, again, just anything that's not an alkaloid. So this is only popular recently because it turned into a fad. Alkaloids are usually what get you high, psychedelics. So that's another reason why cannabis is considered a mild psychedelic. I wouldn't really consider psilocybin an alkaloid since it's found in fungi and not plants, but DMT is an alkaloid. So the boundaries for definition have always been kind of shaky there. So there's not too much more to say. I kind of said everything already. In writing, I'll write it again. I'll do another video. Running a little short on time. I had to take work off today just to find the time to do this video, which meant to be longer. My camera broke. I was going to try to do another long podcast, but my camera broke, so I'm using this backup one, and I haven't had time to restart it, see if it'll work again. So that's kind of mainly it. I know there's been a lot of fuss about that kind of thing, but I don't think it works like that. It's a little more complicated. There have been a lot of girls that I didn't talk to in real life that kind of ruined the situation I'm in. I should have talked to them, and hopefully that would have led to more. Even today it happened. I just think about it too long, and by the time it's time to act, they're already gone or something like that. Usually how it goes. So it's kind of disappointing. I'm not in the most elevated mood right now. So when I start to feel a little better, I'll probably continue this with some more stuff to talk about. We'll just kind of do it that way.